Hey everyone, it's Drew from Animal Adventures. I'll wait a couple seconds just for people to join and I'll get started for you guys. But today we are going to be learning about a porcupine, which should be pretty fun. Before I get started though with her, I'll talk about some of the other updates for us. We are still opening for tours. The small private tours is awesome. It's just going to be you guys and a zookeeper, so it's totally private. We'll be good to go. The cat connection, we can do that. Owl connections, all those things are still available. And then we also have those Zoom classes now that are pretty cool. So we just started them. They actually work really well. So if you have a big group, like a birthday party, a classroom, anything like that, and everyone is separated like we have to be right now, you can totally all join in for the Zoom room. You can do up to 40 minutes, or we might be able to push it even longer too, an hour, and then we can do a full show for you guys. And with that, you'll be able to pick your animals. You can pick a whole curriculum, and you'll be good to go. Also right now, we totally, again, thank you so much for all the donations you've given. Just for the time being, GoFundMe, we can't take more donations on there. They're a little bit backed up, but if you want to give us another donation, we would totally appreciate it. And you can do like PayPal, Venmo, there's different options you can do. So if you go on our website, there'll be a few things linked there that you can pick from. Cool, so I'll get started with Lulu here. She is our North American porcupine. Let's see, she's a little bit older. She's kind of slow and steady, so we'll give her a chance to come on out. All right, so this one here, this is Lulu, like I said, and she is a North American porcupine. So they are a type of porcupine you can find right around here in the wild. There are all different porcupines around the world. You can find some down in South America. You can find really big ones in Africa, the African crested porcupines, which we also have here. And they get huge. The African crested porcupines are the second largest rodents in the world, and they are massive. And Lulu here, she's just going to take a little shake, but you saw no quills came out. They can't actually shoot their quills. That is just a myth for these guys. What happens with them is the quill has a very, very short root. Let's see, there's a pretty long quill here that actually just she shed when she was coming out of that toad. Let's see if I can pick it up. It's going to be tough for you to see, but see right at the end, there's a little tiny root there. Very, very small. And at the other end, it's super sharp. So it's a sharp little needle that it has. And the cool thing about their quills, unlike the African porcupine, is that their quills are barbed at the end. So it has a microscopic little barb, and if it does get stuck in you, it's not going to come out too easily. It's going to hook back like a fish hook, and when you try to pull it, it'll just stay stuck in your arm or wherever you get quilled. Or like a dog's muzzle is pretty common. So some of the best ways to get those quills out are cutting them in half. They are hollow inside, so it releases a lot of the pressure that they have. And then also, it's pretty painful. I've had them stuck in my hand before, but the best thing to do is twist them out. If you just pull it out directly, like I said, that barb is going to get caught on you. But by twisting them, it will come out a little bit easier for you. And a lot of people's dogs do get quilled, like I mentioned. People's cats don't get quilled as much. Cats are a little bit smarter than dogs, so they know to not mess with porcupines, just like they know not to mess with skunks. But dogs are just curious and super playful, and they always go near the bum of other animals, because that's where they're going to kind of sniff each other, just like with other dogs. And if you look at the back over here, if Chris comes around, the tail has tons of quills on them. So the tail is covered in all those quills. And then if I part the fur here, you'll notice that in between the fur, there's thousands of quills. So they have around 30,000 quills on their body underneath all this nice warm fur, the top layer there. So that fur keeps them warm in the wintertime since they are a more northern species. And then the quills are all underneath. But when they feel threatened, right now she's calm as can be, she's not threatened at all. But if she was in the wild and she felt threatened, she would lift up the hair, expose all those quills in the back, and then kind of just stay there. And porcupines are arboreal, or this type anyway. And so the word arboreal, that means they spend most of their time up in trees. So they really don't go on the ground too much. They're going to spend most of the time high up in the trees. And that's why a lot of people don't see them around here. Many people actually don't even know that we have porcupines in this area. But the biggest reason you don't see them is because you're not looking in the right place. If you're out in the woods, especially if you go to like New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, you're going to want to look up in those trees and you'll have a better chance of seeing these guys. They're going to be high up there.
Does it hurt when the quills come out?
For them, no. So it's the quills are just modified hair. It's really just like shedding hair from your head. It's probably, I assume it might be a little bit uncomfortable if it is stuck in something, then they pull it out. But just like if you pull out one of your hairs, it's not going to hurt you that bad. Yeah.
Do they have any predators?
Yeah, one of their biggest predators around here is the fisher. A lot of people call it a fisher cat, but it's actually not a type of cat, so their proper name is just fisher. And what fishers have been known to do, they will chase these guys up into those trees that they're in, and they will bounce on the branches and try to knock the porcupine down. If they're successful, the porcupine might fall and die from the fall, or if it doesn't die, it might land on its back. And on their belly, they have no quills. So the belly will be exposed for a bit, the porcupine might be a little bit stunned, and the fisher will run down and start to eat the belly, where it's not gonna get hurt from those quills, and we'll still be able to get a nice snack from them. And let's see, I have an apple here for her. She doesn't seem too interested right now. There she goes. You hold on to my hand, not the apple. You don't want it. She already had a big breakfast this morning, so she might not be super hungry right now. One of her favorite snacks, though, we don't give it to her very often. It's super rare. She loves nacho cheese Doritos. So we took her to a college one time, and some kid had Doritos, got a little too close, and she went right for those Doritos. So that's where we found that secret little treat that she likes, and she pretty much only gets it on those school shows. So no Doritos right now, but every now and then she'll get a little snack. Do you guys have any questions about porcupines? I know we got a few so far. So porcupines, another thing about them, they are the second largest rodent in our area. The largest is the beaver, and a key characteristic for rodents are those teeth. So their teeth never stop growing. So as long as they're alive, their teeth will constantly grow, and they need to always be chewing on really hard things. So one of the porcupines things that they'll do, similar to a beaver, is they're gonna chew a lot onto tree bark and wood, get all that wood pulp. It's really nutritious for them, but also it wears down those teeth and keeps them nice and short. And a lot of you could probably see I have been petting her totally fine. If you pet downward from the head towards the tail, you're not gonna have any problem with those quills. If I went the other way, I might get some stuck in me, but by going like this, you're good to go.
How long do they live?
It depends. In captivity, there's some that live late teens, even into the 20s. In the wild, definitely not as long. They're gonna live probably maybe 10 years if they're lucky, maybe less. It really depends on the porcupine, but a lot of them do have, it's much harsher in the wild for them. So in captivity, they're gonna have constant climate control for them. They're gonna have constant food, no predators, so it's really gonna increase their lifespan a whole lot. Cool. Yeah, well, if there's no other questions, this was Lulu. I'm Drew. And again, we do have those tours available still here. So if you want to give us a call, it totally makes it easier to book them. And then the Zoom tours, just give us a call or email us, and we'll be able to schedule some of those for you and figure those out. And then the donations, GoFundMe. Thank you again so much for helping us there. But right now, if you do want to donate, we would love if you come in person, or if you do like Venmo or PayPal, which you can link on our website. GoFundMe, we're just waiting on them to get everything to be not backed up. So thank you all.